Hi guys, this is AC Gamer back with another video on Tower of Fantasy. So hopefully you guys watched my previous video, or hopefully it's already uploaded, where I talk about how Tower of Fantasy is about to get a bunch of new players. That was me being very optimistic. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and check out that video. But to quickly summarize, I was just talking about how Genshin Impact is killing the players, and now it's a perfect time for Tower of Fantasy to capitalize on that and try and take as many Genshin players into their game. But there is actually a couple of things that Hotas need to do before a lot more players can actually join the game, because don't forget there is still several issues in Tower of Fantasy, and this needs to be fixed for newer players to actually enjoy their time in Tower of Fantasy. The main one obviously is the 500% XP increase, which if players wanted to join and enjoy Tower of Fantasy, they need to enter a server that's already populated with many people. So they need to go into servers that were out for a very long time. So the recent ones, or not the recent ones, the one that came out originally. And the issue with that is that whenever they enter those servers, they will get that 500% XP up, which will try and increase their level gain so that they can get pushed to level 60 as fast as possible. However, I already made a separate video talking about how this is actually very bad, because it causes your players to feel very weak, and it causes them to actually feel like the game has pushed them to a level that they haven't actually truly deserved, because you won't have the appropriate gear, you haven't given enough time to farm the appropriate gear, and now challenging some of the weaker stuff are relatively harder to do for yourself. However, if you are in those populated servers, then there is one thing you can actually go ahead and do, which is just join what's called Tower Fantasy Discord. Try and get players to actually help you out. They can carry you out. Try and find somewhere else to carry you some of the harder content so that you can get some XP, which is great. Which is one of the best things about Tower Fantasy. It's been an MMORPG. You can actually play content with relatively stronger players, and they will actually help you out. But that is still an issue that the devs need to go ahead and fix. Maybe give out an event where you're able to get gold gear straight away. That would help out newer players even with the XP boost, but that needs to be fixed and addressed, because if Genshin players are moving to Tower Fantasy and they're entering some of these servers, they need to be able, or they need to have incentives to carry on playing. So that's one issue. Another issue is that needs to be addressed or fixed is the Vera 2.0. Hopefully that goes off without any issue. So there is about 15 days, maybe 14 days when this video is uploaded before Vera 2.0 comes out, and that is the best chance for the devs to actually pull in newer players. Lyn needs to be the first character if they really want to get as much players as possible, because Lyn has been hyped up by the community like by a lot. So if you ask any player that does know a little bit about Tower Fantasy, they will know Lyn. So if they really want to capitalize on it, they need to release Lyn, not a weaker, well, if you want to nerf or balance Lyn, then that's possible, go ahead and do that, but release her making sure that she's actually still a very top tier character, and then it would incentivize new players to play because they have one of the strongest characters on release. They can go ahead and use all the resources to get Lyn, and they will have a very strong and beautiful character on their account, which will further incentivize them to actually carry on playing this game. So Vera 2.0 is another great point for Tower Fantasy to actually get newer players. So what I'm saying with Hotta is they need to finalize the update, make sure that nothing happens, and let's say newer players are coming, make sure the servers are safe and secure, make sure no lags is going to be happening during then, except if there's an excessive amount of players actually joining, then it is understandable if there's little lags or crashes. But still, I hope 2.0 comes out without any bugs, no issues with the banner, please. That would be great for the community, great for newer players to come into the game. Another thing that Hotta needs to fix is the optimization on mobile. Listen here, if you're going to get new player, you need to fix your optimization on mobile. Mobile is pretty unbearable to play, I'm not gonna lie. Like I hate playing on mobile. If you are, you're probably playing at low quality because it still lags even if you have a high-end device, and the graphics are still not beautiful even if you have a high-end device. Even if you're using the highest graphics, it's pretty mediocre to see. So if newer players are entering the game playing on the mobile phone instead of the PC, and they're looking at how the game is, it's not going to give them any reason to play it, because they're going to look at it like, oof, the quality is not as good as the other open world game I played, quote unquote Genshin. So it's going to be like, yeah, there's no reason for me to play if I gotta go ahead and play a game that doesn't look that stunning. Even though Tower Fantasy looks absolutely beautiful on PC, on mobile phone the optimization is completely bad, frame drops everywhere you go, lags. For some reason the AI is even more horrible in there. There is a couple of settings you need to do to fix that up, but Hotta needs to fix the optimization for the mobile device. to actually incentivize newer players to actually continue playing the game. Now, there's another part I want to talk about, which is not really Hotta needing to fix anything, but Hotta needed to add something. So right now, with the updates we have with the 1.5 that came out, there was a login event and there's a new event with Vera Orienteering, which overall you can get about 16 summons of the limited resources, limited summons, red nucleus, which is great because even with the anniversary in Genshin Impact, they only gave out 20 summons, which is completely garbage. So all they really need to do now, if Hotta really wants to get more players to enter, then they could easily give out one more multi, and then that's like 26 multis free, incentivizes newer players to actually jump into the game as well. And they also need to advertise the game. I have seen in other regions that they are advertising it, but I've noticed that the adverts are pretty slowing down at the moment. Obviously, when 2.0 comes out, I am expecting them to advertise the hell out of the game if they really want to attract newer players. Now, trust me, if 2.0 comes out and you're doing your promotional or images, your promotional video, get as many videos out so that you guys can get more players to know about your game, get more players to enter into your game. But right now, the most known open world game is still Genshin Impact. I'm not expecting Tower of Fantasy to beat that because Genshin Impact has a lot more money to promote the game, but I still think it is possible for Tower of Fantasy to still gain more popularity, and I only see this being a good thing for Tower of Fantasy. The devs did recently bring out a dev note which was very promising for Tower of Fantasy, whereas with Genshin Impact, the interview was pretty demoralizing to players. It is just a good thing for Tower of Fantasy now to just capitalize. Like, it is a competition at the end of the day. Gacha games are a constant competition against one another. They want to get newer players to enter the game. And now all Tower of Fantasy needs to really do is release a banner with Lin to release 2.0 very smoothly, release Lin, release a few more summons that's free as well. Maybe when Lin comes out, they give out like 20 summons. I really doubt that they would do that, but maybe 10 summons as well. So 10 summons. I still hope that the SSR ticket for newer players are still there. I hope that the events where when you start a new game they give you a guaranteed SSR ticket or SSR character, I hope that still remains for newer players, just to incentivize newer players to, you know, carry on playing the game. But if they keep that up and they keep Vera 2.0 with Lane, and hopefully it's a character that everyone is more hyped about, then all I can see is Vera 2.0 update really gaining newer players from that. That would be pretty exciting. But as you guys saw from this video, there's still a bunch of stuff that the devs need to do, and once they fix that up, then trust me, it's going to be very sweet and very nice, and it's going to be very good. So tell me down in the comment section whether or not you guys disagree or agree. Do you think that Genshin players have more incentive now to actually play Tower Fantasy because of the new endgame content? Once again, go ahead and check out my previous video to understand the whole situation with the Genshin and Tower Fantasy and how Tower Fantasy can actually benefit from this as well. It's been your boy AC Gamer. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm out.